On this episode of Beer, Blues, and BS, I'm back! That's right, after, what has it been, man, like 4 episodes as I've been on hiatus, Howard has returned to the Triple B, and that means a return to some of your favorite segments, just dad jokes of the week. And we got a great group of guests joining us from Rudeboy Kyle, Big D, the Doc. It's going to be a good time. We're gonna talk about a lot of things that Howard wanted to talk about while he's been on hiatus. So we'll have some fun with that. We're going to drink some good brews. And as always, it's a great time. And why wouldn't it be? You're here. And when you're here, you're in a good place. Welcome to the show.
It's Howard Blues and the Mark Kidder. Pour a cold beverage, all pussies, enjoy time with friends.
Triple B! Well, the Triple B sucks. Okay?
Oh, come on.
Whatever, man. This is Beer, Blues, and BS. Online at beerbluesbs.com.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Beer, Blues, and BS, the podcast that says Howard's back and more sleep deprived than ever. That's right. I am your host, the living embodiment of Charlie Brown, Howard Blues, here, as always, with my co-host, the man, the myth, the legend, the Mark Kidder. Kidder, how you doing tonight?
I was going to say Howard who, but who's this Howard character and where he is? But that was almost me for this show, because then it would have been like this. Welcome back. Congratulations.
Yeah.
Another sex trophy.
That's a way to put it. You know, is that how you sign cards to people when they have a baby? Like if you said it like, congratulations, happy sex trophy.
I can neither confirm nor deny these nor any other allegations at this time.
I mean, I'm asking because you didn't send me a card, so you know that's
it's in the mail.
Okay. Well, Kidder, and hey, we're not alone. We got some guests that are joining us. Yeah. All the way from Iowa, it is one Rudeboy Kyle. Kyle, how you doing this evening?
I'm doing all right. Looking forward to the weekend, and yeah, it's great to be back on the show. And again, congratulations, Howard.
Thanks. It's been fun at times, but it's always fun. And also joining us from the East Coast. That's right. He's gone from one coast to the other. And so, making his coast-to-coast trip, it is none other than the wise man of the Triple B, Doc. Doc, how's the east side of the nation doing?
I don't know about the whole east side of the nation, but I'm doing well. I'm here in Manhattan. Just got in about an hour ago, just in time. But I came from a 4-day experience for our students in our seminary program when they finished the first year. And so it was actually my first year that I had students doing that, because it was my first year on the faculty. So it was an amazing 4 days, and I'm glad to be here and back with all of you.
Wonderful. It goes to the east side, to the west side, inside, outside. Pretty soon it'll be like the windows to the walls, and like that's a whole other thing. You gotta...
What's the next line, Mark?
Skeet. Skeet, skeet.
And
skeet shooting.
And the person who's joining us and wondering why on earth he's joining us, it is coming in from, again, that undisclosed location somewhere in the world. It's none other than Big D. Big D, how you doing this morning?
Well, I wake up, I get the coffee brewing, it's still brewing, and then I hop in and I hear that. So I quit today.
Put on a little
already.
makeup. You should leave.
I'm doing all right. I'm doing all right. Got the coffee brewing, and once I get that in my system, I will hopefully seem a little less comatose. But I've been awake for about 10 minutes, so how it goes at this time in my life right now. But yeah, I'm always happy to be back here with you Who the hell are you guys this week?
Yeah, here we go.
Give me 10 minutes to figure it out. Let me Google this.
I
My
was
creativity.
worried that I would forget some of the opening lines and bits because it's been like, I don't know, 6 or 8 weeks since I've been on this show. At least I'm doing better than Big D is.
Big D is the self-proclaimed Roger and Ebert of trolling.
I mean, I was about to give you some grief, but it's the same guy. So okay. Yeah, we'll go with that one. Well done, Kidder.
Wasn't Gene Siskel part of the crew too?
Probably.
Yeah, dude.
There's somebody else there too, but then he died.
And on that depressing note, it's time to get to everybody's favorite segment on the show, and that is What's on Tap.
Another
Because
thing.
clearly we all need to be drinking to get through this. Rudeboy Kyle, what you having this evening?
Yeah, well, I have something from not too far down the road from the Confluence Brewing Company, the Southside Citra hopped blonde ale. Got a little bit of artwork on there. One pint, 5.4% ABV. And the story on the label says the Southside Citra is a tribute to the neighborhoods where summer comes alive. Where backyard barbecues, block parties, and driveway hangouts turn a college of distinct characters into a masterpiece of good friends and great times. As Southsiders ourselves, we crafted this beer, add a vibrant splash of color to those collective celebrations. Whether you're on the south side, north side, or any side of town, you can enjoy its light, refreshing body. Zesty Citra hops, so grab a 4-pack or several. Gather your crew, crack open a great weather, and good times. Cheers. See if it'll focus for me. There we go. So, cheers to round one. Well, certainly got a little bit of hops in there, but balanced out being an ale, a blonde ale. Yeah, I like that. I don't know if Mark would. The hops would probably be a little strong, but they're on the lighter side instead of it being punchy in the mouth on a Christmas morning type of hops. So, yeah, I like that. I'll call it 3.5.
All right. Nice. I'm glad you
Mid to
brought
high
up
praise.
glad you brought up the hops because hey, anybody who's been watching like on our Facebook channel or Instagram, I've been back to posting our shorts and our reels and all of those fun things, and we've just gotten to the section that all come from last year's critically acclaimed IPA Appreciation Month. So I've been reliving the joys that was that time. And I definitely think we're doing IPA Appreciation Month again. We're so got to do that because the content is just hilarious. And with that, hey, Doc, what are you having?
So, like I said, I got here about an hour and a half ago and was like, what can I find? And I found this little place up the street, but it was wine and liquor only. So I was like, we'll see what we find there. So I do have a few things, but what I'm going to start with is Tiff's Spiked Lemonade. Never seen it before. It's rum and vodka with lemon, acai, and coconut flavors. 12% alcohol by volume. Ventura, California. Yeah, all right.
I like how Kidder's face perked up when you said 12%.
Hope the coconut doesn't overtake the rest of the flavor.
No, the coconut is like, so it's very like lemon front, and then the coconut is kind of like a hint in the background.
Just an accent.
But it adds a layer to it that other hard lemonades I've had don't seem to bring because they're either really sour or really sweet. And this is like just sour enough. And then the coconut kind of just like sits there in the background as like that lingering flavor.
Mellows it out a little bit.
Yeah.
Good.
I'd probably give it like a 4.5 out of 5. It's pretty good.
One to put on the
Nice.
list.
Yeah. And apparently looking at the back here, Tiff has other spiked beverages based on the note on the back. So I guess it's not just the Spike Limited, but Spike Limited is the only one that they had there. So have to check out more.
Yeah. Cool. I was going to send us over to Big D and hear about his coffee, but he apparently disappeared in a bolt of lightning. So, Kidder, what are you having?
I'm going to start off tonight with a garage beer.
There you go.
Classic small batch brewed light beer. It's classic, it's light, it's beer. It's 4% alcohol by volume, 95 cals, 3 grams of carbs. This is the side of the can where beer brands tell their story, but we thought you would rather just drink beer with your buddies. Garage beer is light, refreshing, and made with the highest quality ingredients, but what makes it great are the times we get to crack a few with our best friends. Keep it light. Cheers. 16 fluid ounces at Drink Garage Beer. It's beer flavored beer.
No nonsense marketing. I like it.
And then there's a bunch of produced for Jock Beer LLC, DBA Garage Beer, by Garage Beer, Irwindale, California. Ball Corporation aluminum on the can. Bam! There it is. I don't have time to focus. Straight up light. If I had to compare it to a more mainstream taste, it would be pretty much a Busch Light. So I think for the price, I don't remember how much that pack was, but I'm guessing Busch Light is cheaper. Just gonna guess. Back to you.
All right. Big D, tell us about the coffee you're drinking.
Dark like
It's a
nothing. Carry on. No, you're good.
nice.
You'll find out later.
This is a brand called Coffee Planet. So happy to share this with you, Sean Stasiak, and whoever the hell he teamed with at WCW of Internet Podcasting.
Nobody
No, because he had that. Because he was from Planet Stasiak for a while, and I don't remember who the hell he teamed up with because it was
The
that.
people who do that aren't even alive
inconsequential.
anymore.
It's not bad. It's got a good full flavor. I wish I could tell you what the description on the packaging was, but for the name Coffee Planet, none of it's in English. So, yeah. I'm going to assume it says this tastes good and drink our coffee. I agree.
When the 5 beans combine, you can save.
All right.
Never mind.
I got it. Yeah.
If you got it, it was just tragic.
I know you got it. The internet delay is what really made it. Nothing. You'll find it out. We'll pick it up on the back end. It's fine.
All right. Gents, I've been working through kind of the whole backlog of stuff that people have left me. So I finally got to a little box that I got from JS that I was told there was a note on that I had to read, but I couldn't read it till I was on the show having one of the beers from it. So I still haven't read it. I just ripped the section of box off, but it says to Howard Blues, happy non-IPA month, asshole. Love JS. So I'm so glad I announced that we're doing IPA Appreciation Month again.
No.
We are. And here's the fun thing, Peter. I already did the math. Like, we will have 3 recording nights that fall in the month of August. So that's 6 episodes. We tend to do two rounds of what's on tap per episode. So 12 IPAs. It's going to be great.
Minimum of 12.
Minimum, yeah. I mean, we saw the success that we had this last time. People were drinking IPAs that weren't officially on the list. I saw JS just drank one a couple episodes ago while I was gone. That was officially on the list. That's gonna be good. Anyway, I'm stalling because I don't.
That F-bomb was for you with that announcement.
I figured.
Got 2 words for you.
Yeah. I don't really know what this thing is. You guys have already had on the show. It's this beer with the goat on it. I don't speak Polish, so excuse my pronunciation. But Velcopo Vicki. It's a Kozel. It is a Kozel dark lager beer, 3.8% alcohol by volume. It is imported by the Polish Folklore Import Company of Schaumburg, Illinois. It's a product of Poland. So, yeah. So, starting off with a nice dark beer. It's not bad. It's got a nice kind of dark chocolate note to it. It's a little bit more watery than I tend to like in my dark beer, but it's not terrible. It's not terrible. I'd probably rate this like a 3.5. So it's good. And hey, another beer from Poland. So kudos.
Just watch. Local Geek already has the international spreadsheet created with every country on the planet. Like, he's really going over the top.
Or if we conquer the states, then we conquer the world.
And here I was thinking that the next thing that he had to add to the spreadsheet was a column that was who gave us what beer. Like, we could track who bought what. Because
so you have to blame.
Right.
Howard. JS. Howard. Local Geeks on there too for the Malört.
Yep.
We shall never forget.
No. Well, I still have a shot of it in my garage that's got Big D's name on it.
2 things about
no wonder he doesn't come back to North Dakota.
You're coming back stateside for the holidays at some point, right? Yeah.
At some point between now and the time I die. Yeah, I'll be somewhere in the States. That's about as narrowed down as I can get.
It's all right. You just give me some advanced knowledge and an address, and I'll make sure it gets there before you do.
Well, how long has that Malört been there? Because we were talking about that when I passed through. Is when I was on the way back to Germany. So that's been damn near a year.
Let me tell you,
straight out of the factory, that smells like it's expired.
I was going to say, Malört is such a fine, top quality drink that it's like a cockroach. It'll never die and it never goes bad.
Straight out of
right
Chicago.
Now, I'm working through. I'm working through Doctor Who right now and Jodie Whittaker's series, and I just got to the final episode of number 13 where that Dalek, outside of the little tin can they call wheels, it possesses that one woman. I'm afraid that the Malört is going to be sentient at that point and try to do the same thing to me, or do some weird face hugger crap from Alien.
Maybe it already is.
Will that Malört kill me if I consume it at this point?
No,
I'm afraid it will.
Yes.
Nah.
Fresh out of the bottle.
The reason Malört can't go bad is because it starts bad.
Yeah.
Have you guys seen? I see that they made a Jepson's barrel age Malört new for this year. It says aged in 1 to 5 years in bourbon barrels. As they say, this year's blend has a strong oak backbone that helps soften Malört's bite, which makes it, dare we say, sippable. Enjoy or
Putting
don't
a cherry
enjoy
on a turd.
So, yeah.
Little sugar on some
I'd have to try and
diarrhea.
find a bottle of
Yeah.
it.
You enjoy that, okay? You enjoy it for us.
I mean,
Doc
I'm
had
sure.
2 pieces of wisdom I think you wanted to share with us. Probably
Well,
don't
have
buy
you-
Malört and don't drink Malört.
Well, those go without saying, honestly. But I was going to say 2 things in the little time that I've been here in the city is, one, reason number however many thousand, whatever, I could never live in New York City is it is almost 10:45 p.m. and there's road work going on. Like active road work, like excavating the road.
That's when it should be done.
No, but I want to go to sleep at some point. And 2 is actually a question, because I ended up in this like old swanky hotel and I'm not quite sure how. Have you ever seen a champagne vending machine?
Cool.
Like
I hope you
100%
got pictures.
champagne vending machine. $44 a bottle, right in the lobby of the hotel
At the Lexington.
at the Lexington. Yes.
Hmm.
I had never ever seen that before. I was like, is that for real? And it is for real.
Which bottle did you get for later?
I did not get one
Oh,
because I actually am not, yeah.
no.
I wasn't a
pop
fan of
bottle.
anything they had in there. So
But when you're not a fan of it, that's when it makes the best show. Anyway, gents, I've been gone for a while. And hey, now that I'm back, that means I can bring back all of the segments that I tend to run. So
Who the hell are you?
let me.
Why are
Well-
you here? How did you get here?
I'm here to try and keep this show on the tracks.
We
Something
don't
that I
like
fail
your
at.
kind.
So let me ask: do you want some dad jokes? Do you want some hot takes, or do you want to look at the questions that I produced in case you guys needed content that Kidder kind of skipped over? What would you like?
We didn't skip over.
I mean, you kind of did.
You could reword those questions as dad jokes and then ask them in the form of hot takes because I don't know.
I was thinking maybe you should,
Where's the hot dad
instead of
takes?
having the questions on there, maybe you should have answered them in the form of a statement instead of asking them in the form of a question.
I mean, I tried to give you the background and so that you could ask a question, you guys could have some debate, and Kidder just kind of like, oh, this is reading. So
What
Here's
is
this.
we're doing the hot takes?
so I do want
How hot is it?
I do want to hit a couple of these topics. One, because Rudeboy Kyle is here, and I did have one specifically for him.
Mhm.
Yeah, he wasn't on the show. We couldn't do that one. He's
Right.
here now.
Right. So Rudeboy, I was curious if you have seen the new Formula One track that they're looking to build in Saudi Arabia, that is expected to feature an elevated section heading into turn 1, dubbed the Blade, that will be as high as 20 stories off the ground. The section will be a man-made elevated run up to the first corner, reaching a height of 108 meters.
Big D's face. That's just asking for one of these sub to go into space.
Former F1 driver Alex Wirtz, veteran designer of Herman Teich, is designing the track. A good idea or a setup for disaster was my question.
Well, let me see if I can find more information on this because
I was going to say, I actually Because, pictures.
Oh, well, all they have are artist renderings, but the thing about, I think I was.
There's the whole track.
I mean, the track looks cool, but if you scroll up to that previous picture there, each track that the Formula One circuit goes to has to meet what the FIA grades as a grade 1 in terms of safety, runoff areas, and overall accessibility to recovery equipment and facilities. And
Well, they recovered in that lake over off to the side. It's fine.
I mean, they've raced in Monaco for a very long time, and they've designed that circuit. I think it's been since the early 60s since somebody has actually made it into the harbor in their car during the race session. But
you're not trying hard enough.
But the thing about that is that I don't see what safety measures are in place preventing a car from leaving that surface and falling 300 feet. How tall did you say it was?
20 stories or 108 meters.
108 meters, so
350 feet.
So unless they have some way of making sure that the cars go through that area at a relatively slow to moderate pace, it doesn't take much to turn a car over, especially with wheel-to-wheel contact. Recent safety measures, they've mandated what they call the halo construction that's built into the car that has essentially saved lives because of airborne type incidents or debris type incidents. That is, but I'd like to see actually what they're doing in reality versus a heavily generated picture of what they hope to have happen, because they have it in Austin down in Texas for the race there, but it's obviously something where they have plenty of runoff area. Their turn 1 right after the start finish line goes up a hill, plenty of grandstands to the right, but they slow down into this wide,
great place to crash,
tight turn. And from what people say is when you see it on TV versus seeing it in person, the cameras don't really give you the perspective that you have in person of how steep that hill is. So if it goes into a braking zone, all the better, but it's still something that you don't want a car falling 300 feet and putting existing safety measures on a car to test, because people break their backs after going airborne just maybe a foot or two, just landing hard on the floor, or forbid they land upside down. I don't know if that halo was designed to take that impact. They do preseason testing on all the cars for side, front, back, and impacts to the top of the halo. And I don't know if the track's going to end up looking like that. So
it should probably just be safe for drivers. Then no problem.
All I can see is, Rainbow Road from Mario Kart.
Yeah.
You know how many times I've fallen off Rainbow Road?
You have a nice little cloud that just airlifts you back to safety.
Yeah, not in reality, though.
Oh, that's true.
Makes you wonder.
I guess maybe in Saudi Arabia. I don't know, but
it makes you wonder if you could do the classic Rainbow Road, cheat of jumping off the track to land further on the track. Skip a little bit.
And that's why nobody races Rainbow Road with Howard.
He knows the tricks. You hit the gas on the second light.
Just for the record, just because I know the cheats doesn't mean I can pull them off. The other one, and it's kind of more on video game side of things, but I thought it was a good question at the time. But one of the most popular games that's out right now is the remaster of Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion. And mostly it's a graphics overhaul. They made the game look prettier. They didn't really fix a lot of the bugs or the glitches. They fixed a few, but for the most part, it's just making it look better. They did a couple quality of life improvements, but it got me wondering, and I'll ask you guys this. What classic video game do you think deserves this kind of treatment? What classic video game would you love to see them, like, not do a whole bunch of changes, not, drastically change it, but just give it a great graphics, update, maybe some quality of life features, but basically bringing a retro game forward? What one would you like to see?
Pong.
Instead of a square, it's a circle. Man, these graphics are
It's
so realistic.
It sparkles as it bounces around.
So realistic.
Because I'll tell you the one that comes to mind for me. I would love to see a remaster of Perfect Dark.
Not the
I would,
crappy version that they made.
Yeah, no, go back to the original one, a remaster, bring the graphics up to looking good, keep the gameplay the way it was. I'd love to see that one again. That was a great game.
I'm trying to remember what the name of the game was that we used to play at the mall all the time. That was like potions and spells, and you could play as a team, and it was an arcade game, and then they made it a 64 game. I love playing that game. Go into the collection and try and find
Gauntlet?
That one. Yeah. Gauntlet of...
I think it's just
Legends, right? So the name?
It's just Gauntlet, isn't it?
It is just Gauntlet. There is a couple different versions of it. So I think there was a Legends version or a Dark Legends version. So
I think a good update to a Tomb Raider game would be good.
I mean, they've had a couple of reboots that have brought it forward, but be able to play.
It feels like it's been 10 or 12 years since they've released something along that avenue.
I don't know if I really could advocate for anything, because even if there's anything I'd want to see, I don't know that I'd be able to play it, because one game that I played all the time, and actually a couple of friends and I, for hours and hours and hours, was Diablo 2, which they already remastered in 2021. And I've had every intention since then to actually get that and play it, and still haven't. So
maybe they can remake GTA 4 before they release GTA 6.
At this rate.
No, you don't want it to delay even longer.
No. They've already spent, $2 billion on it? So let's...
GTA 6 has been in development for so long. I didn't buy GTA 5 because about the time that I had a system that could really play it, the rumors were starting. Oh, GTA 6 is coming. I'm like, well, okay, why? I'll just wait. So I never bought GTA 5.
The cash cow of just people paying for stuff to play GTA Online has, I think, really helped funded it, but it hasn't. Even though I have a console, I haven't booted up my Xbox in so long that, and people speculate that it's going to cost $100 or $120 or something. And it's like, well, are you really going to drop that kind of cash for something, or are you going to wait for it to go on sale? Or so,
yeah, I know they're talking, or there's the rumor out there that Borderlands 4, which is coming, is going to drop with a price tag of $80. So they're already getting pushback on that. So I get it. Games are getting more and more expensive. Big D, do you got a game that you'd love to see brought back?
All the ones that I was going through in my head are ones that are part of a recurring series that they keep updating and making sequels for anyway. So I don't know that there was one that would be like a slam dunk on that list. Yeah, I don't know. I also play games like video games so infrequently that I'm just kind of out of touch.
Another one that I would like to see. Did any of you ever play? It was on the original Xbox, but it was a game called Mercenaries. It's done by Lucas Studios. Anybody?
Maybe.
That one was pretty good. It was kind of a bit like a little bit like Far Cry, a little bit like was it Just Cause, where basically you're a mercenary dropped into a war-torn country and you have to hunt down. They did it very much kind of like we've seen with kind of current events. They had basically it was a deck of playing cards. Each one had a person who you were supposed to take out. So you had to kind of work your way up kind of the little guys to get to the big guys, who were the aces of each one. But it had destructible environments. You could drive tanks and things like that. But it was fun. It was a fun game to play. But it could might be good if you did a remaster on that.
I might have to dovetail this into a hot take, but making something of the quality of gameplay, multiplayer-wise and story-wise, of a Call of Duty circa 2009 to 2012, because everything since then has been subpar, in my opinion.
That's it.
Make a good Call of Duty.
But
Well, stop making a COD every year or every 2 years. How about we fix the one game, make it a good game, instead of introducing all of the jamokes who we talked about last time.
Well, they latched down to the Fortnite style wagon of insignificant additions to the game, and it's made them money. But we're all not getting younger, and you want to play a game that is high quality. Back when we were younger and still had legitimate hitboxes on multiplayer. You weren't grinding for 2 or 3 games online, because it's like you shoot somebody in modern day and it's like, oh, you unlocked a skin for the World War II game or the other game that's coming out soon or whatever. And it's like, just keep it simple, make it good.
I like the meme that's going around about the N64 game. It's, however many 100 megabytes crammed into the cartridge, and that's the game that it is and will be forever. And now you get the game, it's 300 gigabytes, and then on launch day, still not finished, have another 80 to 120 gig update to download before you.
But it still has bugs disguised as game features.
yeah, I think part of that is just the insane amount of crunch, and we have to get these things out instead of, hey, I got to make my game as good as I possibly can before we launch it. I think it's a money versus quality issue, and I think that's going to continue to plague the industry for a while. Because and the sad thing is, you can if you switch over to Nintendo, and I know Nintendo gets the whole your kids games, but they don't have nearly the bug problem that these other companies do.
How many different Mario parties do you need in a 10-year span, though?
All the parties, clearly.
I'm not the biggest.
It feels like
fan of
they come out with 3 or 4 of them, and then the 5th one becomes a amalgamation of the best of the past 4 games. It's like, oh, here's an $80 game that you're going to play you're going to pay $80 because it's coming out for the Switch 2, but it doesn't feature really anything new. It's just more rounded corners instead of squared off corners of previous 4 games. You can play it in 4K instead of 1080p.
I think that Mario Party has been a success for them just because it has replaced, for a lot of people, it's family game night.
It is, yeah.
It's something that the whole family can play together, and some would argue better than a board game.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I've always been kind of hit or miss with Mario Party. So it's not bad.
I don't
but
play it enough to be good at it. I don't have the luck and the skill that's needed to win.
I just got bored with it. Same thing over and over.
Yeah.
Which you could argue about most games, that they're very repetitive, but it's not my slice of pie.
yeah, my kids like playing it every now and then. So, and it takes a whole lot of willpower and restraint not to cream them in all the mini games. But
You give them
They must learn.
the handicap 2 or 3 star head start.
the one that we have for the Wii, I actually give them. In that one, you collect mini stars.
Oh.
And so they each start with like 50 mini stars, and I start with none. So, and I've won a fair share. So, but they enjoy it. They enjoy it. So, it's
Not always about winning.
yeah.
Yes,
That's the lesson I've been trying to teach them, because one of them will win and the other one will start crying, and it's just like, listen, you're gonna lose. You can't win them all. It's all right. It's all right.
Mark and I have had a similar experience when we've chased tornadoes online.
most of the time you lose because the game crashes. You're not even playing against anybody. The game just crashes.
Yeah. The game crashes, or even though the tornado is a half mile that way, takes a hard right turn, and you're suddenly in the
I think
pit.
it's all those stop signs you take out. You're taxing the system because they have to keep track of which ones you've knocked down.
Good luck.
Yeah.
It's not as fun to take out the stop signs in Outbreak, because you get the red smear across your face. I'm going to leave that for your imagination to think of the phrase that I'm thinking. But
Plus, you got to pay for damages to your car.
yeah,
Or you could just,
And then the game crashes after you successfully intercepted a tornado.
yeah.
What's the next hot take, Howard?
I mean, those are just topics I had in case we ran out of topics. But hey, let's bring back one of Kidder's favorite segments, because I'm holding the book. So let's bring back Dad Jokes of the Week. That's right. I have this book of dad jokes that I think was probably created with AI. I'm just saying. And I'm going to read 4 of them. We'll see if they're any good. So, did you hear about the chameleon who couldn't change colors? He had a reptile dysfunction. Two goldfish are in a tank. One looks at the other and says, "I'll man the gun. You steer." Two goldfish are in a tank. One looks at the other and says, "Do you know how to drive this thing?" And our final dad joke of the week. Two soldiers are in a tank. One looks at the other and says, "Blub, blub, 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 blub." Big D is face palming so hard. He's like, "I can't believe I got up for this."
I'm back to bed.
There you go. Your dad jokes of the week. Hope you enjoyed them. Kid's like,
Nice, right?
he's like, "I hate this segment." Are we done with this book yet? To which, let's see. We're on page 46. There's 102 pages, Kidder. So
We're getting there.
we're almost halfway through.
oh my god,
At this rate, we got another 2 years of this book. I could start out the Star Wars dad joke book I have lying around here somewhere. I feel like I've been dominating with the conversation. Anybody have anything they wish to share, chat about, talk about? Things?
New update for flashing lights. You talked about games earlier. You can buy the brand new Buck truck. Looks like a Ram truck.
Is that all the all that's been updated so far? There's some gameplay, quality of life.
Yep, quality of life, expanded the city, populated out, day-night cycle available now. Mm-hmm.
Hey, take it or you want some breaking news?
Guess we better get it.
All right. This is coming in from WKRC TV, Local 12, out of wherever that station's from. But Haribo, they're the ones who make the little gummy bears, have announced a major recall of gummies due to a potential contamination with cannabis. One quote said, "Samples were taken and cannabis was found in them. Do not eat the sweets." So, there you go. Beware if you have bought Haribo gummy bears for your kids, because you might have quite the reaction.
You wouldn't want chill kids.
Yeah. I mean, the way that my kids always like snacks, I mean, I wouldn't know if they had the munchies or not, or if they were just, hungry.
Well, I saw that, Skittles are no longer going to have titanium dioxide in them, so you have to rely on multivitamins or other heavy metals to get your...
Instead, just listen to Metallica. You get all the heavy metal you want.
Battery.
Get it right. I got a story for you.
This should be good.
Oh, yeah, you'll appreciate it. A great deal. So, a couple of weekends ago, I was my family and I, we were driving down to church, and we were on Washington, heading south. We were coming up on the Washington Divide intersection. For those who know the Bismarck area, you'll know the intersection I'm talking about. Coming down, the car in front of me is a ways in front of me. There's a gap between us. And as I'm coming up to that intersection, there's a truck coming north in the left-hand turn lane. He decides he's going to make a turn because there's a gap between me and them. That's fine. It's close, So I kind of slowed up a little bit to give him plenty of time to get through. And he gets through. I'm entering into the intersection. There's a car behind him that decides to go through as well. And I had to slam on my brakes. They slammed on their brakes, nearly hit them. Like, we were like inches apart. And they give me a look like, what the hell? And it's like, well, my light's green. Yours is not. I mean, it's clearly somebody who was like on their phone, saw the car in front of them move, and just thought that they had a green arrow too. So they go driving off. I continue on my way. And anybody, who I think has driven, you've had these experiences where somebody's a bad driver and they do something like that, and you just wish there was a cop there. Kidder, as I'm exiting the intersection, I hear that beautiful, blessed sound, that whoop whoop of sirens. Not the car right behind me, but the car behind them that was up on the hill, saw the whole thing, was a Bismarck PD who immediately turned after the car that failed to yield. And I cheered. I clapped. My kids were like, what the heck? I was like, yes, get him. Oh, it was sweet instant karma. It was great. It's great.
It's nice when that happens.
It never happens for me, So I was like, it was great. The worst part about it was, then I had to sit through church coming off an adrenaline rush from nearly being in an accident. But, but at least that schmuck who wasn't paying attention probably got a ticket. Well, I'm okay with that. People should be paying more attention when they're driving.
Well, people are paying attention to their phones, to drinking and driving, to smoking and driving, to anything else other than driving. So they are paying attention, just not to what they're supposed to be.
Yeah. Well,
that's why don't alcohol and drive. Don't smoke and drive. Don't phone and drive. Put this Schmidt down.
Or, as we say here on the Triple B, don't drink in stairs.
Well, that's for you.
That was better than the other. What was it, 2 days ago? I was trying to drive home from work, and I got stuck on State Street behind like a huge line of traffic. And what had happened is somebody was on the interstate, had car trouble, and were limping their car kind of up the ramp and onto State Street. And there was a highway patrol behind him with his lights on to keep people from colliding into this slow moving car. But he was triggering all the stoplights. And so traffic kind of backed up on State Street. But yeah, he had his forward facing ones going. Kidder's thinking about this real hard.
I am, because they don't have opticoms to trigger traffic lights.
I don't know.
So, sounds like the light just sucked.
It could be that. That was the only excuse I had for why there was backup before really rush hour. Because I usually try to make a point of leaving work before rush hour so I don't have to deal with people. Because
it's good to have backup.
And on that very late edition to Dad Joke of the Week, Kidder, we've been talking for quite a while. It's time we wrap this show up. And to do that, we need some cheap plugs. Or have we done away with cheap plugs? There kind of was a lack of them while I was gone.
No, it's quick, and they're at the front of the episode, where people may watch.
No.
And as far as I know, I don't have any kids. So there's that. All right. beerbluesbs.com. Visit our website, beerbluesbs.com. Follow us on Facebook. Follow us on Instagram. Like, share, subscribe, comment. We'd love that. Also, buy our stuff, because help us to actually continue this. Hardly know her. We would love for you to be part of the show. So comment your own comments on the show, and we may talk about them here like 6 to 8 weeks after you comment. Other than that, buy the stuff. Help us. Donate as little as $1 a month. It helps keep a thirsty podcast host employed on this show. And with that, final thoughts. Let's go around the horn. Howard Blues.
I wasn't quite ready. So I wanted to share this thing that my wife sent me because it was very fitting. She sent me a little thing today. And her comment with it was, it seems you often feel this way. And it was one of these things that people have shared on Facebook. It's just kind of a thing of wisdom, but I totally agreed with it. It says, weekends as an adult are neat because you can either do all your errands or you can do the things you enjoy. But either way, it's the wrong choice. And I totally agree with that. That I have found much in my life. Weekends are kind of stressful for me because I always have that question of do I sit and hobby and do the things I want or spend time with my family, or do I get out and mow the grass and clean the flower beds and trim the trees and all the things I have to do to keep the house going. And no matter which one I choose, I'm never going to feel great about it. And so it was something to think about because it summed up that feeling that I have all the time. So I just thought I would share. So, because others might feel that same way. And that's my final thought.
Now that honey-do list is, you think you're cleaning off the to-do list and stuff on your plate, and it's like going to your grandparents because they keep feeding you more and more and more. It's like, why don't you do this? Why don't you do this? Why can't we help with this? But yeah, that's sage words of reality, I guess, because we all have 24 hours in a day, and it never feels like enough sometimes.
It's never enough. No, it's never enough. Words of wisdom. Let's go out east. It's time for Doc to share the wisdom and get this train back on track.
If you're going to be staying in Midtown Manhattan, bring earplugs because it is 11:25 and they are still excavating the road out in front of this hotel.
Should go out there and give him a hand. Round of applause.
Courtesy wave.
Or finger.
Maybe. You know what? You should be proud of them because I'm sure that road crew is just like what you need to be in life, and that is constantly working to make yourself better.
Yes, but
No matter how inconvenient it is for others.
no. Well, I was just going to say, in doing so, you may want to consider how it impacts others because they're literally jackhammering at 11:25.
Yeah, that's
Goldberg's in New York City. It's crazy.
That's
Big D.
Yeah.
With how much he's rolling his eyes, we're making the world go round. What do you got to say?
I'm just thinking about this don't drink in stairs business we were talking about a minute ago. To get to my room, you got to go up 17 very steep, very metal stairs, and I can consume. I can consume here to a small extent. So I'm playing with fire every time I come to my room on a Friday night. So yeah, I'll let you know how it goes. Not really words of wisdom, but hey.
Drink and walk. Okay. Safety first. And with that, let's get the hell on out of here. Thanks for joining us for this and every episode of Beer, Blues, and BS. We got Howard Blues. We got Rudeboy Kyle. Yeah, he had to actually be announced because we haven't seen him in forever. We got the Doc, and we've got Big D himself. Thanks for being here. Time to get out of here. There's free beer tomorrow. Got to keep your glass at least half full, and we will see you on down that wisdom-wise, always improving Tuscan Highway. Have a great one. See you in the next episode of Beer, Blues, and BS.
You have been listening to a UA production of Beer, Blues, and BS. If you enjoyed the show, help others find out about it by rating the show or leaving a review at your podcast listening service of choice. Thanks for listening, and may your glass never be empty. UA Productions presents A Glimpse Behind the Curtain.
Alright, one show down. A quick reset for those who need a break, bathroom break, refresh their beverage,
BRB.
all those good things. Good being back.
We're doing 1 or 2 rounds for show number 2.
I mean, I got enough to do 2.
Okay.
But I don't know if everybody else wants to do 2.
I was just
Doc says 2.
Yeah, thumbs up.
How you doing? You look a little preoccupied, a little busy.
I mean, I wouldn't say busy. Just little flashing lights action.
I figured you were gaming.
Yeah, just seeing what I can customize.
That's right. It's one of those. I'm sure you're glad I'm back, so I can keep the show running and you can play flashing lights.
I'm just glad anybody's back because when you weren't here, everybody else was busy and I had to figure it out.
Right.
Or
I
just
tell
not
you,
have
it feels like the past 2 months I've gone through like 3 different bouts of congestion. What was it? Jess did a week in Columbus for the International Science Fair. My parents came out and helped with Lucas, even though I was working days that week. But she had gotten sick with, like, she assumed it was food poisoning, but it was probably some norovirus that was spreading around the daycare. She got sick, feels better a few days later, and I'm working mids the week before she travels to Columbus. And I go into work, and it's like 10:30, and I just tell my coworker, I'm like, hey, Matt, you'll have to excuse me, I'm going to be sick. So I grabbed the trash can, cut loose into it, and right after that, there was a bird strike, so paperwork bullshit, and I go clean up and come back, and I go on break, I sleep, and I'm like, I'm feeling a little bit better, and I come back at like 2:30, 2:45, 15 minutes after my coworker goes on break. I'm like, here's round 2. And I'm like, okay. So we go home, we're like, and I told Jess when I got home what happened. She's like, no way. And I'm like, I don't know what's going around. So you're like, we're disinfecting the house, we're cleaning everything, we're wiping everything down before my parents get here 5 days from now, and we're all gonna be fine. Meanwhile, Lucas is happy as a clam, not sick at all. So my parents show up, and the second night my mom got sick. Same thing. 4th night, my dad got sick. That was like, it's like you wouldn't believe. Like we went through about 2/3 of a can of wipes just to make sure everything was cool for you guys to be here. It just sucked because it drains you for a day and a half while you recover. And unfortunately, I was at work when it happened to me. So
Yeah. That same kind of bug went through our house over Memorial Day weekend. So like, and it was one of those like, I had arranged, my dad brought his dump trailer, parked it on my driveway because I had some trees to trim, and
sure,
I could fill it with as much plant matter as I wanted. And like at the end of day 1, I had to be like, well, you might as well take it because I'm not going to get any more work done because everybody in my house is puking. I was the only person, me and the baby, only 2 who didn't get it. But when I got back to work after Memorial Day weekend, people were like, they're always asking, well, how was your weekend? I'm like, I'd sum it up in one word: Puke-a-palooza. I mean, at one point, like everybody in my house is walking around with a bucket just in case. And it's just like, this is awful.
Well, it was just funny because when we knew that Lucas was on the way, I was like, well, I bought a stack of those hospital puke bags that you can just pull open and go into and seal up, even if you're on the road. So we've stashed a couple in each of the cars and ended up back in the closet upstairs because she never really needed them. And then we ended up using more of those just over the past few weeks, just because of everybody coming through the house being sick than Jess ever did during her pregnancy. So it was just, you never know when you need them.
Yeah. All right. Looks like everybody's back. We might as well get the next show on the road.
I just noticed up in the corner it has Gemini is taking notes.
Ooh. I'm playing around with this feature. I want to see what it comes up with notes. If that like helps me with like writing episodes.
Oh yeah, like the summary. Yeah.
So
No, they're taking notes on what not to do in a podcast.
Howard Blues expressed his pleasure at being back, and Rudeboy Kyle indicated they would do 1 or 2 rounds for the show, with Howard Blues confirming he had enough material for 2, which Doc also supported.
Updated 2 minutes ago.
Mark Kidder mentioned he was just dealing with little flashing lights action, implying he was gaming, while Howard Blues was glad to be back to keep the show running, allowing Mark Kidder to continue. Rudeboy Kyle then detailed a series of illnesses that affected him, his wife, and his parents over the past couple of months, while Howard Blues shared a similar experience of a bug going through his household over Memorial Day weekend. Oh, nice summaries.
Yeah. This could be very helpful to me in the future, so I'm trying it out.
Yes,
So,
yeah.
Be like, newsflash, nobody gives a shit.
All right, let's kick this one off.